Hi. Today we kick off things for fall here at Second Baptist Church, as many congregations across the country seem to find that Wednesday after Labor Day to be their kickoff week. And I want to focus this for just a few minutes upon some of the things that are kicking off. First of all, our Sunday school classes are starting up. We've had Sunday school for adults all summer long. The kids have been sort of off and on, but everything starts up fresh now in the fall with Sunday school classes. Also, my sermon series that I've been doing on parables, I'm going to be continuing up until November. And I can continue that, and you can find those on our website each week, the video recordings of our worship service. I also want to mention the Wednesday Bible study that I'm starting tonight. It's on boundaries. It's from that book by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. Looks like this, but it's backwards on your camera. But it's called Boundaries, and when to say yes, how to say no, to take control of your life. We all have to set boundaries in our life. There's no question about it. It's a wonderful book, but basically to describe boundaries is to describe property. That there's certain things that are within our property lines in life that we have to guard and protect in order to keep our own sanity. We also do that in order to protect other people from us. We set boundaries. You've heard of personal space. We don't step over somebody's personal space. It makes them uncomfortable. Well, that's one of the boundaries that we can talk about. As Christians, we might think that setting boundaries is selfish, that we're somehow depriving other people of our service by saying, hey, I'm establishing boundaries here, and that keeps you from stepping into my territory. As a pastor, there are certain situations that I have to create strict boundaries. And Billy Graham, in the early days of his ministry in 1948, he and his cohorts, Grady Wilson and George Beverly Shea and Billy Graham and some of his other cohorts, Cliff Barrows was one of them, they sat down together and they put together what they called the Modesto Manifesto. And what it basically is almost like a 10 Commandments, although those are only 5 of them, for their ministry. It laid the groundwork for the kind of ministry because they saw pitfalls in a lot of evangelists of their day. A lot of it was ego, that a lot of evangelists of their day promoting themselves and so on. And so they set up this Modesto Manifesto in order to protect themselves. And one of them was to guard against lying and deceit. That is, that not to exaggerate their ministry, say, well, we had 10,000 people at our crusade the other day when they only maybe have had 5,000 or 1,000. So not to exaggerate the impact of their ministry, but to be truthful. Another one was to take only a fixed salary from the organization, not to get wealthy off of being an evangelist. And we know that many evangelists today do not do that, do not set that boundary, and they've become very wealthy, and they thrive on their wealth and their notoriety. Also, to guard against financial thievery, to never be alone with a woman other than their wife. That was something Billy Graham was very strict about, is that he didn't ride alone in a car with another woman unless his wife was present. Also, to guard against all kinds of sexual sin. The last one was to never criticize fellow members of the clergy. So if there was a pastor across town who was doing bad things, wrong things, whatever, it's not up to us as a pastor to criticize that other pastor across town. And I try to live by that as well, as best I can. Sometimes I maybe slip up a little bit in conversation. But nevertheless, I think all of these things are very important. So what these are, what these are is boundaries. These are boundaries that Billy Graham and his organization set. Now, don't you think that in our own lives that we need to have similar boundaries? Not just me as a pastor, but all of us need to set those kinds of boundaries to protect ourselves from the kind of temptations and the kind of realities that surround us every day. And I do think it's important. So I hope that if you struggle with boundaries, if you struggle with people in your life who are constantly overstepping boundaries, or perhaps you have a hard time keeping boundaries in your own life, this study is for you. I hope that you'll come out at 6:30 this evening. It's 45 minutes long each week. It's worth coming out for. We're going to be focusing upon the main parts of the content. We're going to try not to get derailed too much, but this is a place where you can find out how you can set the right kind of boundaries in your life. Hope to see you tonight. God bless you and have a great week.